Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we're going to do the Cotton Cuts mystery quilt. Mine is the small size. This is block 6 of 10. And if you get a clue and you don't remember how many there are, if you look up here in the top left hand corner, it tells you 6 of 10. And my quilt is the Team Night Owl, and this is the Name of the Rose quilt. And here I have the directions. Let me show you. Hopefully they will not fall off. Give you an idea what the pieces look like. Alright, and we're going to take it over here to the sewing machine and put it together. But before I do that, first I wanted to mention to you that I am doing the YouTube video for the Autumn Mystery Quilt for the Fort Worth Fabric Studio. It's the Absolute Autumn Mystery Quilt. It is going to be 5 weeks long. They come out on Mondays. So the very first one is going to come out on July 27th. You can go over to the website and go ahead and get your kit so that we can all sew along. You know that the very first week we do all of our cutting and we normally do a block. Okay, I don't think anything's going to be different this year. So pick out your autumn fabrics, the ones that you like. If you'd like to make this in autumn colors, I love the oranges, the browns, the tans. I love all those colors that go together in the fall because I think the leaves are so pretty when they come off the tree in the fall, and the weather is beautiful. And as you can see, I just now realized that I haven't done it yet, but I put my little fall table runner that I did on one of my videos. I'm going to be quilting it pretty soon. I did quilt the other one, but I haven't quilted this one yet. And so I'm just letting you know so that you can get prepared. If you need to wait for your paycheck next week to get the kits do sell out pretty fast. They don't remake the kits because they only buy that amount of fabric. And you know we have a Facebook group. You want to go over there and join that. I can't wait until we get it started. It seems like it's going to be here any minute. Let's get started on this Cotton Cuts. I am not affiliated in any way with Cotton Cuts, so I can talk about anything on my video that I want. I was cut off a little bit on my last talking, so I wanted to just mention real quick. That's the reason I can talk about the Fort Worth Fabric Studios on my channel here. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and we're going to get started, and let me tell you the colors first that we have here. This color here is A. So whenever you get your fabrics, make sure that you always check that you have everything in your little package, because if you don't, they will correct it for you. This is B, C, and F. And my little cheat sheet is here so I can keep track of it, so I'm not confusing them, because you know these little things here are all the same size, and that's when you can mix and match and get them confused. So the first thing that it says, let's flip it over here. We've got one page worth of directions, and now everything is 1/4 inch, and I sew on 2.5, and I went ahead and I've put in white thread. You could put dark thread if you wanted to, but I have my machine set up for white. We are going to join our triangle C to the top left of the large triangle F, and what we're accomplishing here is the geese. That's what it's going to end up being. The thing is that we're making our two little triangles different colors. So we're going to grab our F first because this is the bigger one. And of course we are making 2 of these. So we're going to lay that down here. We're going to get our C, which is this pink color here. That's going to end up going like this. And then we're going to use our B, which is the fabric with the floral in it here, the birds, and we're going to put that like this. So we're going to make 2 of those, and that, when it's finished and put together, those are called flying geese. Now the advantage of getting these pre-cut out, or if you have an AccuQuilt Go Cutter, they will do the same thing. It cuts off the tips here. This is where your little tips would be, so they're considered wings when you sew them together and they're hanging off of your fabric, because you can line up these right here, line that up, and line this one here with the top, just like this, and when you sew it, it will come out exactly correct because you've got them lined up. So let's go ahead and pin them, and I'm going to do them in a chain stitch. I want to make sure that my shorter fabric is on the top and my longer fabric is on the bottom, so that I can see when I stop and start. I don't want to be sewing blind at this end, not when you don't have to. Now, if you're using the cover on your machine and it's not the one with the little circle in it, and it's the one with the long, you want to be careful when you start out here so it doesn't bury your fabric. If it buries your fabric, you want to get a leader ender. I was looking to see if mine rolled under, but I don't see that it has, so we're going to look here in a minute. I'm going to find out if it did or not. And you got to be careful because you are on the bias when you're on this edge. This long end here is the bias on the fabric. You don't want that to stretch or it will distort your fabric when you go to put it together, your blocks. So let the machine feed it. Okay, so I have moved up here to the ironing board. For all of those that are just beginning with this kind of sewing, I am ironing my pieces. It wants us to iron them towards the C, which is this pink color. But in the meantime, when you come up here to iron, you want to set your seam. So the first thing you do is you just slowly press it while it's still closed and you haven't opened it yet. And I find that this wool mat, which I have really used it a lot, I've got it stained and everything else, but it works really good with these kind of irons because this iron does not get as hot as my other iron does. Even when I have it on the 100%, or not 100%, but the cotton linen selection, I guess you call it that, or dial. And then all I do is open it up and I will go in the middle and press it, and then press it outward. And then usually I will go ahead and put my second piece on top of the first piece off to the side here because it's just reinforcing that first one that you did. And you don't really have to push down real hard on your iron to get this to work. The heat of your iron should do it. I don't have any water in this iron. I don't use water in my irons because I find that they end up spitting after a while. It ruins your iron. I know that some of people say that their iron says that it should be, distilled, but it does not make any difference whether your iron says distilled or not. Eventually, it's probably going to spit on you as it gets older, and I find they last a lot longer with no water in them at all. I've had my, I'm trying to think of the name of my iron over there. I'll go look at it real quick. I've had my Rowena iron, which is the white iron, and I don't have any water in it either, and I have had that for over 20 years and I've never had a problem with it. It's actually my second iron. The very first iron I got when I first started sewing was a Sunbeam, and it finally died on me. Now we're going to take our next piece and it's going to end up like this, so just lay it down, fold it over, and you're going to put it end to end. I'm just going to put one pin in it and I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. And I'm going to do them both the same way. Just line them up. And then voila. And I always start really slow when I first start out on the edge of a piece of fabric. And I have my automatic foot up. That's a pretty good feature if you have that on your machine. We'll iron them open, and we will repeat this part with the iron every single time. Now the thing about these Aliso irons is they will literally cool off after a bit and shut themselves off. The other irons don't do that, but this one does. And then I'll put these on top of each other and just re-iron them. Attempt to put them on top of each other. Alright, we'll set these aside and keep going. Now it is saying to take our C square and put it up against this side. So you want to make sure that the C and the C are going together before you sew them. When we're done making two of these, we're going to make two half square triangles out of the B and the F. So here's our F's. And these are at the bottom. Set this aside here. And our B is the pretty fabric with the floral. We have 4 of them left, so we'll use 2 of them. I'm going to make it like that. And we're going to do 2 of them. So I want to chain stitch all of these. So we'll have 2 sets of these and 2 sets of these when we're finished. Let's get them pinned first. Alright, so I've got them all pinned. Let's chain stitch these together. I'm going to do this one first. Now I have turned this upside down, if you notice, because I want to watch this corner down here, because I want to make sure that on this corner my little piece doesn't flip over, because I'm keeping it the direction that it said to iron it towards. I don't want it flipping on me now. And I want to go ahead and let you know that I have put some masks along with on my Etsy shop. I went ahead and I put them on my website. If you would like to have one, you can email me. There's a couple of different ways that I can have you purchase it. Now go ahead and cut these apart. Okay, so now it wants us to take the 2 that we just finished, this one and this one, we're going to put them together. When you put these 2 together, this looks like a flying geese here if you had that much less. Okay? And then we're going to put these 2 together, A and C. So we're going to put these 2 together next. So I'm going to go ahead and chain stitch all of these and pin them up. This is where you're going to nestle these 2 so that they're even. Get it in the camera for y'all. The top is going towards the right, the bottom is going towards the left, and then I'll pin it so that the bottom stays down, because I do not want it to fold up on me. And then I'll go ahead and I'll pin this end also down a little bit so it doesn't interfere when I come down with my machine needle. And we'll do the same thing with this one here. And if you iron them correctly, then they are going the right direction. Come down here a little bit so it's not interfering with it. Okay, and then we'll pin these 2 together and we'll repeat. I just put 1 in the middle, match it up at the top, match it at the bottom, and put a pin smack dab in the middle, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain stitch these. So here's the one we finished, and we ironed it towards a C, and now they want us to join the C's, so make sure that your C's are together. We're going to join these, then we're going to make an A. Whoops, I've got it turned wrong. Okay, an A and a B. Let's just turn it this way for you, because that's what it's asking us to do next. So we're going to go ahead and pin all these and get them sewn. Now it's telling us to join our A and B that we just finished and join it to the B. So we're going to do that next. So let's pin it first. Alrighty, cut those apart and go ahead and iron them open. Now we're going to take the ones that we just finished and we're going to connect these that we did beforehand to them. So let's pin them right here on the square, so that'll be easy enough to do. You end up with 2 units like this. And while I was reading this, which is so weird because this entire time it says press towards B or twist, excuse me, or press towards C, and this time after I got them putting together, it doesn't say press towards C or B, it just says press towards the left. Like, really? What the heck? They're going to change. Not only do you need to know your ABCs, I guess you need to know your left from your right. Who knows? Alright, so now we're going to start putting them together. So we're going to take the one that has the A and C, which is this one we just finished. I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to make another one here, so I'm going to put it right there. Let me move my camera up just a hair. There we go. And now it says it wants us to connect it to the ones we did up here, like this, and we will make 2 of them. So this becomes a square, if you look at it that way. Same here, this one looks like a square. And you want to be careful when you put this together right here. Now this is going to be left and right because this is like a half square triangle going together, but your points are what we don't want to lose, so we'll work on those. And this is actually step 10, and then all we have left is to do those there, which is the longer strips, the rectangles. So let me first pin one of these, and then I'm going to show you how to pin it. So here's what we're going to do to achieve this here. We're going to take this, and this is what I do. First I flip it that direction, turn it around, and what you don't want to lose is you don't want to lose the tip. All right, so let me bring you a little closer here. First thing you're going to do is you're going to mark above where these 2 pieces of thread, let me move this one a minute, meet. So I'm out of the camera. Okay, so I put a dot right here. There's thread here and thread right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my ruler on here, and on top of that ink I'm coming towards me and away from me, just like that. So I've got a line, that's a sewing line, so I don't go and cut my tip off by mistake. That's real important, you don't take your tip off. Okay. Now, the rest of these are going to line up because what you've done, this is the way it's supposed to look, right like that. Remember the box? Let me back it up a little bit. Remember the box? Remember? Okay. So here's the part that we have done. We're going to take our pen, and I'm going to go below where the 2, right here, see where the 2 fabrics meet? I'm going to go below it and stick my pen. And so look on that side, that's what you want to see. Now on this side here, what you can do, you could actually mark a 1/4 inch. I'll come down a 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to mark it on the pink. This is just approximation. Let me see if you can even see it. It's teeny weeny. See it right there? Okay. You're going to take this and you're going to put it in there, and you're putting it in the seam. Right there in the seam. So it comes out on that side like that. You're putting these 2 pieces together. Just like this. And now normally what I would do is I would get another pen, because this one's has it all even and everything. So now I'm going to take this pen and I'm going in at an angle. I'm not going straight up and down. I'm going to show you why you do not want to go straight up and down. Let me pin it first. All right. And here's why you don't want to do straight up and down. Let's say that this was the area we were going to pin, right here. All right. So if I was to go straight up and down, and then I pull my pin, I'm going to flip it over. Well, it didn't do it this time, for heaven's sakes. I don't know if it'll do it or not. Well, it's not going to do it this time because of the fabric, which is a good thing. But normally what happens is if you go straight up and down and you turn your pin, you've pulled your top fabric up a little bit. But this is so slippery, this fabric, it's not going to affect this fabric. It will affect this part here because I already tested on the other one. I just didn't want to do it on this end. But here, these ends, they should be going the opposite directions if you ironed them correctly. So all you're doing is matching these up. And this is going to be a hard one to show you on blue because it's too dark a blue on blue. Let me go to the other end where there's the pink. But then you're going to put a pin on it because I'm going to come across this end. So that's the part you want pinned. And I think that's, okay, this might be a little bit better. So when you come down here to the end, this has been ironed to the left. The back has been ironed to the right, so that's correct. So what you're doing is you're trying to line them up like this. so that when they get across each other, let me come up here where the white's at, you can see they'll line up. Okay, there we go. And then just put a pin in there, because your main objective is to keep the fabric from turning on you. And then I will push this fabric up down here to line it up so that it doesn't get distorted while I'm sewing it, and I'll put a pin in there. That's already been pinned, so we'll go down here to the lighter color, our pink C. We'll match them up just like that. You're going to put your pin in because we're sewing 1/4 inch. You just don't want all these seams to go crazy on you. And then we'll go down here to the end. And then the main thing you're doing is you're putting a pin in to keep this from flipping over on you when you sew. So don't go right on the edge. What you'll do is you'll come up to that, when you're sewing, you'll come up to this and you'll go real slow because you'll feel that bump on your sewing machine. So that's the way it should look. If you want to put more pins in here, you can. You don't necessarily need to. I'm not going to. They'll both be like that when you got them pinned. Let's go ahead and put them together. I mean, go ahead and sew them. Right, here we go. Try to stop before you get to your pins. You don't want to be going over your pins or hitting them. You have one of these electronic machines that could damage it. Now we're going to come up here real slow and easy, and we're going to make sure that we go right over the line we have pinned. I mean, we have, excuse me, we have marked on our fabric. And then if we get finished here and we need to go closer, we can do that. If we need to go further away, then your marking was incorrect. If anything, you've always got to go closer. You haven't marked it enough. It's not the other way around. So cut it apart and let's take a look at it before we do anything else to it. Always look at it. If you're satisfied with it, that's fine. I'm going to put it over here on the board and we're going to take a look at it together. Here is our tip. The question is, are we happy with it? Do we feel like it is far enough, or do you want to get closer? That's what you're going to tell yourself. I think it's fine. Let's look at the other one. I'm looking at it, and I think it's fine also. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to iron it open. You want to make sure that these met here. You've got them all matched up. They all look good. All right. If it's not good at this stage, when you're looking at it, take a look here at the corner. And this here. And go down to this end. If they all look fine to you, then it's done. Go ahead and iron it. If it's not fine, now is the time to fix it. Don't wait till you've put it together and then go, oh my gosh, I wish I'd have fixed that. Now's the time to fix it. If you don't have the time, just put it aside. Come back to it later. That's what I do. If I don't have the time, I just stop, set it aside, clean up my sewing area, set it aside, and get ready for when I come back up. I've done that a couple of times, been interrupted and had to do that. But you'll like it, you'll like yourself and your project a lot better if you fix it now. Don't be in a hurry. This is supposed to be relaxing. This is not supposed to be stressful, okay? Let's get this iron, and then we're going to put the last few strips on it, so we'll have our blocks. Now we're going to put our long strip at the top to this that we just did. Keep in mind, F is the bottom. All right, and we're going to make 2 of them. And then when we're finished, we're going to put our smaller strip on the side. So let's get that pinned. Don't forget, if you need to mark your spot right here, you know, with the line and the dot, and over here, right over here, go ahead and do it. You got 2 on each one. Okay, now's when we check to see if we're happy. So we bring it up to the camera. Are we happy with that? I would say yes. It didn't take the tip off. I know it's kind of dark right there. Come to the other end. It didn't take the tip off there either. Check the other one out. That one looks good. And that we're going to put, oops, sorry about that. We're going to put this side on both of them, and then we're going to be finished. So let's do that.
One place to mark it, right here. Don't forget to mark it if you need to mark it. The rest of them don't have anything on it. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's our corner. Right there, it looks good. There's our corner right here. And it looks good. All right. Nothing has been chopped off. Let me iron that and we'll get it up here so everybody can take a look at it. They both are. And I just want to let you know that when you sew yours together, I didn't mention this while we were doing it, but because of all the fabric that's right here in this area, this is going to have a tendency to stick up on you. And I went ahead and I used the stick that I talked to you about, and all I did, this is the stick, and I'm going to show you down on my ironing board just like that. I stuck this on top of it. You can feel it right here. And I took my iron and went just like this, back and forth. And because that's a hard surface underneath there, it flattened it out better than if it was the ironing board. See that? That's a lot flatter than sticking up. If you want, you can open that seam to make it easier on you, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to leave it shut. So there we go. Okay, so they're both done. I hope y'all liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you need to make a comment, go ahead and make a comment for me. And I'll see you in the next block. Thanks everybody for watching, and welcome to all of my new subscribers. Now when I reach the 3,000, I'm going to have a giveaway. Keep watching my videos because the Fort Worth Fabric Studios video starts at the end of July. It's going to be on a Monday, and when I do those videos, I'm only going to do 2 a week. Normally I would do 3. I would do Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. I'm changing it. I'm either going to do a Monday, Wednesday, or a Monday, Saturday, but I'm not going to do 3 because I just have too many things that are backed up that I actually want to get taken care of. Thank you very much everybody for watching.